everyone, it's Brian from WorkshopAddict.com. We have in front of us Milwaukee Tools new FUEL 7¼ inch dual bevel compound sliding miter saw. This is model number 2733-20, and this is going to be based around lightweight, easy to move around, just go with you anywhere trim saw. This thing is awesome. It's in a great package to move around. It weighs 28 pounds with a 5.0 amp hour battery. This is based on use with the 5.0 amp hour battery, so you don't have to have their 9.0 amp hour high capacity battery, but you can sure use it with this if you'd like. Now we're going to go through some things in here, some uses, some runtime tests, some accuracy, and then we're going to go for a complete walk around of this saw. So let's start out with some quick specs. It's a 7¼ inch saw with a 5/8 inch arbor. It has a max blade width or thickness of 1/8 inch. It's a 5,000 RPM no load speed. Again, it weighs in at 28 pounds with a 5.0 amp hour battery. That's awesome. You've got grab handles on both sides, so it's easy to carry along with the top. It has a max vertical cut on baseboard of 3.5 inches, a max capacity for nested crown of 3 5/8 inches, and a max cut at 90 degrees for width of a 2x8. This saw rocks. Whenever you get a new miter saw, you should always check it to make sure it's accurate when it comes out of the box. First thing we did is make sure we're square to the fence, and we made sure we're square to the table. We checked the miter angles to make sure they were good, checked the bevel angles to make sure that they were set up properly. Everything is adjustable, so we wanted to make sure we were spot on. Then we started making some cuts. We started checking the wood for accuracy, and everything came out very, very close as we're gonna call it with our digital meter. Sometimes those things are hard to get exactly perfect, so we're gonna call this thing spot on for accuracy. This thing slides and moved great. It was a joy to get out of the box and look at and see how well it was put together and just simply use it. So our first excitement was get into this thing and see, look man, this is gonna be a trim guy's saw. We need to do some great testing on this and give them an idea of the runtime that they're gonna see on the job site. So we took some 3/4 inch by 3.5 inch oak. Decided we're going to put the saw at a 45-degree bevel. How many cuts can we get? So we had a well-used 5.0 amp hour battery because nobody's going to start out with a brand new one all the time. And we ended up with 163 cuts beveling this 3/4 inch oak. That's pretty awesome because that's a lot of cuts, cut after cut after cut. Somebody can easily use this on the job site. They're going to get through at least before lunch, if not a lot longer. It all depends on how many people are on the job and who's working what. But this saw was amazing. We then moved on to some 2x6s just to say, hey, how's the power on this saw? It worked great. We could sit and bevel a 2x6 without wishing for more power, even with the fine cut tooth saw blade on here. Absolutely awesome. So if you're using this saw, time-wise, I'm going to say, runtime's excellent and power's excellent. With the power and runtime stacking up excellent, let's walk through this saw and show you how it works. Now you have an LED light cut line. So as you bring the saw down, you can push a light button, turn it on, and it'll give you a shadow line for exactly where you're going to cut. There is a slide over safety, and then you pull the trigger forward to turn the saw on. It also has a brake, so it slows down faster to increase your efficiency of work. This saw will miter from 48 degrees to the right to 48 degrees to the left with common detents at 0, 15, 22.5, 31.62, and 45 degrees, both to the right and left. If you do not want those detents on, you have a lockout lever there that'll allow the slide to move easily, and you can lock it in position wherever you'd like. The base of this saw is 21.5 inches wide with handles at each end. If you look towards the back, you can see the scale for the bevel. To adjust the bevel, you reach around back, loosen the knob, and you're able to bevel to the left without issue. It has a positive stop at 0, so to bevel to the right, pull on that lever, and it'll allow you to bevel completely to the right. Now there are positive stops that are adjustable at 45 degrees, but the saw is capable of beveling to 48 degrees in both directions. Both sides of the saw have adjustable and removable fences, but they just simply slide over, allow you to bevel, and then give you a clear cut path. On the right-hand side of the tool, you have a tool for changing the blade or making different adjustments, and there's also the spindle lock here to help you change the blade. While changing the blade guard can be pushed up and out of the way. There's a lot of ease to changing this blade. You just get inside and pull everything out. The nice thing about 7 1/4 inch blades is they're very cost effective. That allows you to keep your cuts fresh in the quality of your job up there with less expense. For most of our cuts, we had our vacuum attached to the dust collection port, which is 2 different sizes to allow for larger and smaller vacuums. That really worked well, and we were surprised at how well it worked, even when it started to clog itself up with small pieces of wood throughout our large test of the oak. If you are beveling though, you should remove this little rubber piece that aids in the dust collection. It will hit your wood and kind of limit you or your movement around a little bit. Easy on, easy off, just don't lose it. The slide system on this saw is a lot more traditional than on Milwaukee's M18 FUEL 10-inch miter saw. It's very smooth and allowed for very accurate cuts. There was no head deflection on this saw. It's a nice tight saw for doing very accurate trim cuts. At the end of the day, after the saw is cleaned up, you just push the head down, push in your headlock pin, and screw down the slide lock. Move this guy over, lock it into place at 48 degrees. You have a top handle here or 2 side handles to carry it. This thing is so light and small that you can carry it downstairs easily. And it was almost a shame to mount it to a miter stand to use it, but with some of the longer wood and the testing we did, it really made sense. Awesome little portable, powerful saw. Look guys, we know that you're excited about this saw coming out, and we tried to put it through its paces to say, will it work for you on your job site? And that's what it's going to come down to. Do you need a nice small saw that you can move around very easily, get into tight places, not hit the walls, not struggle carrying it? And if so, if this capacity will work for you, this is awesome. As we said before, the blades are cheap. You can keep things sharp at a very low cost and keep your jobs at the top level of what you're capable of doing. This saw really was a game changer for us because we can now move saws around wherever we need it, especially when you're working in tight places, even dark and unlit places. It just really works well. You can read more about this at WorkshopAddict.com. Stop over there. Also check us out on social media. We have a lot up there of different things going on and also some giveaways. We appreciate your time. Have a great day.